All right, welcome back to the Captain's Auction, October 15th, 2022. Big pinball auction. We're going to continue with a great one, Gottlieb's Kings and Queens. And this is a very iconic wedge head pinball machine, one of the very best ever manufactured for lots of reasons. One of the key reasons, the Western themed art, Roy Parker in the back box, just a great little tableau. Seems like she's got an ace there in reserve, and you can see that he seems a little bit blasé and probably shouldn't be, given that he seems to be possibly at a little bit of a disadvantage there in his play. Lots of great detail in the artwork that you can see in all kinds of areas of the back box. Really typical of the very best Roy Parker artwork. Kings and Queens also has gameplay to match the art. In the play field, you start with a great plunger shot to be able to make the rollovers, and you get down to a very cool feature in the bottom of the play field where those holes jump from hole to hole. This is a game where you can actually launch more than one ball at one time, and so we'll go ahead and do that in the hopes that one of these balls will get into the hole so you can see the kind of progressive play here. All right, there you go. You can see it actually passes the ball from hole to hole. Very cool. Great artwork continues in the details on the plastics on the butyrates there, and just a beautiful pinball machine. Great player, fun game to play. That's Gottlieb's Kings and Queens. Next up, Williams Magic City, one of the single-player Williams games from this era, and you're going to see a lot of great details of the Magic City, which in this case is Chicago, Illinois. That's right. No doubt another celebration of all that makes Chicago amazing, which is why we have that recurring theme. Of course, it has a lot to do with the fact all the pinball manufacturers were in Chicago. In any event, you can see the beautiful play field artwork too. It's a fun player. You complete the Magic City letters to be able to succeed, and to get the star you have to be able to hit the center target when the spot is on the star, so it adds some fun to that. You have to be patient. Another absolute classic. This is Midway's Raceway from Midway Manufacturing before they joined together with Bally. This is absolutely fantastic American game. You can see in the back box there's actually two physical cars that move around the racetrack as you progress. That is done in a flipper game, not a bat game, which makes this very, very unique. And you can kind of see how the artwork carries down to the cars in the back box, the targets, the plastics, all of the details of the game. And what's fun about it is it's really, it is a fun game because that competition with the actual cars moving forward makes it a very visceral thing. And that is just great. And you see some of the amazing art. This is the original back box art that you're looking at back there. All of it has made it through the years. And that's Midway's Raceway. Bally's 50-50, an amusement park theme game, and this is a multiplayer Bally from the 60s. You can see again the great artwork and the typical Bally gameplay, completing the numbers to make progress in the game. Spectacularly beautiful pinball machine. El Toro has bullfighting theme, and there is no question that the bull is depicted rather, as you can see, empathetically. There is no doubt. This is certainly an absolute masterwork, I think, of the art of pinball. When you kind of see what is done to kind of look at both maybe the positives and maybe the negatives of what we do as a society. And that happens a lot in pinball art. There's an acknowledgement of the good and acknowledgement of the challenges. And you can't help but kind of have a feeling when you look at him. There's no doubt about that. It's an amazing game. Gottlieb's Dragon. This is one of the early solid-state Gottliebs. There she is on her dragon up there. You kind of see the condition of the game. Nice play field on the game. Pretty straightforward gameplay. We talked about it before, the ABCD approach and the very targets. it's notable that the very targets work a little differently than they do on the electromechanical Dragon. This is another Gottlieb's Fire Queen. This one has very nice back glass. Our Fire Queen is in good shape on this game. I think one of the better, if not in the very top rank of Gordon Morrison's executions for Gottlieb here, because the Fire Queen on the back glass is so distinctive. She's a singular creature up there, and the playfield reflects the fire theme. And you can see the smoke and the fire literally burning up the bonus levels. 2 top target banks, as we discussed before. Fun game to play. Bally Paragon. After Lost World, we talked about a little bit earlier, Paul Ferris wanted to follow up on the theme, and he delivered this. This is an absolute masterwork of Paul Ferris's art, hence the name Paragon. I think he recognized that at the time. The back glass, just the details of the artwork and the painting that was used to do this 3D effect back glass, as they advertised it at the time. It's just the way that these back glasses appear. It's not like there's a lenticular on this, but just the amazing detail in the art. Beautiful game and beautiful on the playfield. This certainly is a younger person, I thought, was the most beautiful pinball machine, along with Gottlieb Circus that I talked about earlier. And it's a fun player. The progressive multiplier on the bonus, combined with the spell Paragon, with the rotation that you see up there, and the rotation of the numbers to advance your bonus, combined with the 5x bonus that builds up to 49,000. Super game to play, beautiful game to look at, and that's Bally's Paragon. Strikes and Spares, Kevin O'Connor here, and he kind of captures the art fantasy of a young man, I guess, in particular, most of the time, playing or bowling. And what's kind of fun is there's a lot of humor in this back glass as well, because obviously she's distracting, and not everybody's happy about that. And I just love the humor in this, as our different approaches are kind of taken to the distraction. I think that was pretty funny too. This game is an absolute fantastic playing game. Really the culmination of the rollover game with the 10 rollovers in the bowling style. As you've seen, many pinball machines throughout history have used those rollovers. This one brings it to its peak, I think. The game plays in a very fast style. You're completing, the rollovers. You're spelling out spares, advancing the strike value, and it really can lead to a high-scoring game rapidly. Great for competition. One of the best playing games for the classic Bally's, in my view. This is Strikes and Spares. Williams Daffie, another masterwork of the Pointy People art for Christian Marsh. This game is a straightforward single-player game from Williams. Again, just take a look at that. You cannot capture this era any better than with this combination of this art and this execution on this game. The butirates of plastics carry that out. Just the amazing details. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. People think about this iconic era of American pinball machines and what that means. This another great example of that. Simple gameplay. You're rolling over the 1 through 5 to advance the X's. You want the X's to get advanced, and when you get to the highest ones, you light up extra balls. There's a gate. There's zipper flippers on the game. The flippers close and zip back out, and it's just everything in the package for this era of pinball machine. And here's another one. This is Gottlieb's Card Tricks. This game, again, kind of that 60s relaxed music era, whatever you want to call it. A lot of details in the back glass. A little bit of loss in the back glass there, but a lot of great details in the girls' room. And this is my favorite. There you go. Little guy. I think that's great. But, you know, everything comes together. The art is there, and then it's a classic shooter's game. You're working to complete your cards, and this game has a spin feature that will rotate the selected card in the bottom, and so if you don't make it in the rollovers of the targets, you can get it there. Gottlieb's Road Race. This is a classic wedge head that has a the car theme to it. European car theme for sure. Not too many places in the United States with the cobblestones, so you can kind of see the inspiration of it there. Looks like possibly somewhere in Italy, not quite sure, but in any event, they took their inspiration from the great rallies and, well, car races in Europe, and you can see the plastics also reflect that. You hit the flipper kind of shaped spinner, and it's not a spinner, but it moves around in the center, and that will spot the numbers to complete your set of numbers in the game. That's Gottlieb's Road Race. Move across. This is Second Old Chicago. As mentioned before, that obviously gangster theme that is in the back box, because this is where pinball originates, Chicago, and the Dave Christensen art. We'll take a look at the condition of the game. It's in nice shape. Let's see what that looks like one more time. All right. Gottlieb's Torch, Olympic theme System 1 game, and typically exuberant Gordon Morrison art on this game. Very, very nice example of it. Back glass is good. It's just captures that Olympic theme in the sports, and the playfield is beautiful on this game as well. Gameplay is kind of interesting, and actually this is, in a lot of ways, I think one of the most challenging System 1s because of the way that you build the bonus multiplier, which is a little different from the other System 1 games. Also has the roto target in the top. That's Gottlieb's Torch. Bongo. I'll light it up. This is a two-player game, 60s Bally, and this one is gorgeous. It's just amazing when you see these games that are 50 years old and they're in this kind of condition or more. This one, almost 60 years old, I think. So the theme, kind of exotic land theme, if you will, Latin American theme. It's great. Carried out beautifully in the back box. The details of the art, the numbers light up as you complete them. Easy to understand gameplay on this. You are completing the numbers, and we're going to give you a look at that play field and the plastics. Absolutely gorgeous game. Wow. All right. That is Bongo. You can see the sides, original side art. Black Sheep Squadron. This is a conversion game. It was made to convert any of the classic Bally games. When you had those games come out when they were no longer profitable, you had board sets that were very useful and valuable, except that you wound up with more board sets and cabinets of games that no longer were earning in your locations. And so Black Sheep Squadron was made as a conversion kit. You would be able to take this and then convert one of the Bally titles into this game, and you can see it. I think of the conversion games, this definitely is the nicest looking one, or one of the nicest looking ones. The theme is something I'm a little bit partial to. You kind of see the play field, condition of the play field here, how everything looks on that. This one is in nice shape. And that's Black Sheep Squadron. Williams Big Strike. This is a single player game. The advantage of this game is it has a great layout. The many rollovers down here create good gameplay action because you're able to shoot for different spots from either flipper. And as you saw before, you can see the humorous art, just great. And all of the plastics is this one as well. There you go. That's the Williams Big Strike. Bally Speakeasy, truly unusual game for Bally in the classic Bally period. This actually, as you can see, is a two-player pinball machine. I think the only one in that era for Bally with this board set, and has the kind of classic Speakeasy look to it. You can see the art on the back box there. As always, this is Greg Ferris. Always a great job out of Greg. Amazing artist, great guy. The playfield, and kind of take a look at the playfield art, the plastics, the rest of the condition of the game. This game features the center playfield spinner. There you go, Bally Speakeasy. And just a side note there, this is, you know, they actually called back the add a ball words to reflect the fact that when you get an extra ball, you could actually add a ball, and you can do that repeatedly. So when you get the 10 through ace in sequence, you add a ball. So in this era of solid state games, you would typically only be able to earn one extra ball per ball in play. But this one is able to say it's featuring add a ball because you can get as many additional balls as you earn. And so they even animated the balls to play in the bottom. And what's kind of interesting about that is you can earn them and you can lose them. So you can actually have, as you can see in the light animation, -2 balls to play. But don't worry, they're not going to take more money from you. All right. Williams Suspense. Absolutely stunning artwork on this game. It's an interesting story because this game is named Suspense. The very first Williams pinball machine was also called Suspense, but that one was themed on trapeze artists, and of course was in the flipperless era, so there were no flippers in the game. But you know, there's a big difference between 1940 and late 1960s, early 1970s, and so this Suspense game is actually themed after, as you can see, kind of noir film. And as such, it's a pretty unusual theme for pinball machines at this point. Not something that you would typically see at all. That makes it pretty cool and unique. This is a beautiful, beautiful Suspense. Just the play field on this, absolutely immaculate. Look at that, just wow. You know, it's lovely when you see these games come through history the way that this one did. And so many of the games at this auction, it's just amazing to see the condition of the games. I mean, there's certainly variations, but it's been a pleasure doing these videos, that's for sure. Flipper Cowboy, this is the absolute, in my opinion, the absolute best of the Flipper series games. Lots of reasons. You can see that in the back box, the Cowboy shoots the target and it spins around. The detail on the glass, just a beautiful glass. Original glass on this game, original back art. Wow. So the animated back box adds interest for especially spectators, and the play on this game also is incredible. It is a very, very well designed playfield layout. Dead bumper up at the top, and then 3 pop bumpers, well, 2 dead bumpers there and 3 pop bumpers to get the action going. And the center split roto target shot, so you basically get to work to complete your numbers, and that is what you're trying to do. Complete package. Great art, great play. It's Flipper Cowboy. I think my favorite of the Flipper series. Williams 8-Ball. This game was very much a milestone. They actually, for the first time, they utilized in a 2-player game the ability for the game to remember the balls. You see the solid balls for the first player, the striped balls for the second player. And that's how this works. So that meant that the game would remember what balls you had completed from ball to ball, even in a multiplayer game. Ordinarily, only single-player games would allow you to build on your progress, but this was called split bank technology, and it was a critical milestone in moving forward in the electromechanical era. This one's beautiful. The back glass is absolutely gorgeous. The playfield is gorgeous. This is an amazing pinball machine to play to. It has the turnaround shot, and as you can see, straightforward gameplay, makes it a great competitive game. Doesn't require a lot of complex, thinking to understand what you were trying to do. And it's worth noting that when Bally started making solid-state pinball machines, one of the first ones they made was also called 8-Ball, with the 8 spelled out. That game took advantage of the solid-state technology to actually do the ability to memorize what balls you had completed from player to player and ball to ball, but this predates that by a decade and more. Bally's Mystic, magic themed game, the great kind of ominous magician figure being whispered to by the devil in the back box. This is Kevin O'Connor's artwork. Again, he always does an amazing job with capturing the themes of the pinball machines. And see the back box, that great mirroring in the glass. You can see that a little bit on the video. Great gameplay on the game. You basically are trying to complete your 3, the tic-tac-toe board in the diamond or the eye with the 3 target banks. And that's how you succeed in the game. Fun playing game, Bally Mystic. And we bring this series to an end with Gottlieb's Photo Finish. This is another classic wedge head, a little bit earlier. You see the Parker art on this. And, horses in the back box, condition of the glass there. Great horse racing themed game. It looks like 4 of the 5 original horse head caps. That's cool. Gottlieb would make some interesting different themed bumper caps in this era. This is good. You take a look at the playfield here. This playfield features, as some of the very early 1960s games did, a gobble hole. So you would get a big score, a big advantage if you hit it, but you would also lose your ball. And that was the trade-off of that. And that's Gottlieb's Photo Finish. And that brings this set of games to a close.